All right. Now, I'm going to produce a video based on this video here. And this surfaced just a few hours ago. This actually surfaced today on a Sunday, apparently. And I wanted to get some feedback on this because I've noticed that a lot of times when I create videos, there's a lot of important things that I should have pointed out that I don't. I do that a lot. You know, a lot of people think that I talk a lot just because I like to hear myself talk. But what I'm doing is trying not to forget to say anything. I'm trying to just cram it all in. And I still don't do it. Not all the time. Sometimes I hit the mark, but a lot of times I am off. But I wanted to get this one right. Check this out.
Animal rights activists are up in arms about a dog named Watson who was surrendered to Denver's animal shelter. The shelter says the dog, quote...
Wait a minute. Let me give you the overall story real quick. This dog attacked a toddler. The family is now fighting to keep the dog alive, keep it from being euthanized. So is the shelter. Both the shelter and the family wants the dog to stay alive and be adopted out to a different family. This is the second time the dog has attacked the toddler.
Animal rights activists are up in arms about a dog named Watson who was surrendered to Denver's animal shelter. The shelter says the dog, quote, severely bit a child in the face. But Denver 7's Colette Bordelon spoke with No Kill Colorado, which says they've been speaking with the family, and apparently what the shelter is saying does not line up with what the family is saying. Hi, Colette.
It's really two different stories entirely, Jacqueline. So the shelter is saying that when the owners surrendered Watson, they made it clear that this was a permanent decision. However, No Kill Colorado, a nonprofit, says the owners didn't fully understand what that meant and thought Watson may be able to find a new home. Now, tomorrow is apparently the day when what happens to Watson and if he's put down will be decided. No Kill.
Now, you get that? The family surrendered the dog to the shelter, and the family thought that they were just going to adopt the dog out to a different family. How about that? Knowing that the dog has attacked a child, their own child, twice. They surrendered the dog with the hopes that it would get adopted out to another family, not that it would get euthanized. They had no plans on that dog being euthanized.
Colorado says Watson is a 10-year-old dog who was adopted 8 years ago. Apparently, he was surprised by a child while sleeping. The toddler had to get stitches.
They said the dog was surprised by a child while sleeping. So you see the scenario they paint in your mind. A sleeping dog surprised by a toddler. So it leaves people to fill in the blanks. Oh, the toddler must have leapt on the dog, yanked on its tail, pulled on its ear, violated the dog in some way. That's the implication here. If you don't believe me, listen to the rest of this.
Apparently, he was surprised by a child while sleeping. The toddler had to get stitches as a result. The shelter says when Watson was dropped off, the family told them there was another incident similar to this one in the past, but No Kill Colorado has a really different take on that.
When the shelter was talking to the family, they mentioned that about a year ago, the same thing happened, but he did not bite the child. There was no broken skin. There was no injury. There was no medical attention. That's not an attack.
Now, you get that? Do you get what he's saying? He's saying that because there was no injury, that it was not a real attack. The family said, hey, this dog has attacked our child before. This is not the first time it has attacked the child. And he said, well, if there's no medical report, there's no broken skin, then it's not a real attack. Mind you, the family thought it was serious enough, the eyewitness to the attack thought it was serious enough to refer to it as an attack. No different from how companies treat a near miss when there's almost an accident somewhere. You take those situations very seriously. And if this is a case where a dog lunged at the child, tried to attack the child, and someone neutralized the situation, that is an attack, man. What are you talking about? So you see why I had to get second opinion on this. This is like caught me by surprise, like overt wickedness, just pure evil right here. Yes, wow. They're just growing fangs and horns at this point. I mean, this is a population of demons, man. You you bent over backwards to dismiss a previous attack report by the family? Are you out of your mind? You got to be soulless. It's all get up.
Same thing happened, but he did not bite the child. There was no broken skin. There was no injury. There was no medical attention. That's not an attack.
No Kill Colorado says there's a 10-day hold on Watson that apparently ends tomorrow. They also say the family does not want to see Watson put down.
The family does not want the dog to be put down, even though the family is the one who informed them, hey, this is not the first time this dog attacked our child. And the family still does not want the dog put down. Now, who does it sound like the family values more? They got rid of that dog so that they won't get in trouble. Right? So they won't get locked up. Who do you think the community values more? Because the community is involved in this process. The shelter, this media outlet, the police officers involved, everybody. Who do you think they value more? Now, let's finish.
If they want to end Watson's life, they can do that starting tomorrow. If they want to save Watson's life, they can start doing that tomorrow by giving him to a rescue that's ready to help him.
Now, people, that was jarring to me. That, to me, is pure in its rawest form evil. What are you even talking about, dude? He's talking about the dog. No. He didn't say, hey, if you want to make sure this doesn't happen to somebody else's child, you better have that dog euthanized. He didn't say, well, if I were you, I would request that this dog be euthanized. I would not try to request to put it in someone else's home. It already attacked your child twice. The second time, splitting your child's face open. This man wants this to happen again. He wants to create the environment for this same thing to happen again, if not worse. Wow. You know, as much as I make these videos, I'm still surprised by a lot of this stuff. And this really took me by surprise. Like, wow, are they really being this open with it?
If they want to end Watson's life, they can do that starting tomorrow. If they want to save Watson's life, they can start doing that tomorrow.
It's not about, he think it's about the dog's life. It's not about making sure this dog never has an opportunity to do this again, which should be the only priority. And that only require a drop of humanity in your blood. Why isn't he saying that? Why is there any excuse for him to not be saying, hey, we need to make sure this dog is never within a mile radius of a child? This thing hates kids. We got to keep dogs like this out of community. They should have gotten rid of the dog when it tried to attack the child the first time. Instead, he's fighting to dismiss that first attack and still put that dog into someone else's home. Now, I'm sorry. That's pure evil in my book. That's the work of the devil, man. Flat out.
By giving him to a rescue that's ready to help him.
Denver Animal Protection sent us a statement saying, in part, they're charged with protecting the safety of people and animals in our community. It continues to say because of the severity of the bite and the dog's history, they're closely reviewing whether it's safe to release him back into the community. They say
closely reviewing? Reviewing what exactly? I've heard everything I need to hear already. What more information are y'all reviewing? Wow. What she means is they're bending over backwards looking for every possible lie and con game they can think of to keep the dog alive and put it in someone else's home.
they're closely reviewing whether it's safe to release him back into the community. They say this is a decision they take very seriously, and they're going to be acting in the best interest of the community.
Of the community. Wow.
Those with No Kill Colorado are encouraging people to call or email saying there are shelters.
Wow, this is crazy. It's like a massive organization that prioritize mutilating kids. That's what it's like. They specialize in kids getting torn apart, ripped to shreds, having chunks of meat ripped right out of them. Primarily kids, but adults get it too. The elderly get it too. Everybody gets attacked, but these flipping mutants prefer to attack kids. The videos and stories I've covered, man, these things will run past adults to get to a flipping child. Craziest thing in the world. These creatures, now you see. I hope you understand. I hope y'all understand why this story took me by surprise a little bit. Like, wow. And now at first I made a video. Shout out everybody in here. BK Born, Mr. Payne. At first I made a video. Just one of my usual videos covering this story. Then I'm like, man, wait a minute. Let me get some other opinions on this. Like, wow. What in the world? What is going through their head is beyond me. So this is a members only live stream. But you know what? Maybe I could just make it public and it'll just be a video that was produced in the members area that I then made public. If that makes sense. We can do that. So we jointly produced this video. Yeah, why even allow the chance of this happening again? It's like, why isn't that the topic of the discussion? It should all be about making sure this doesn't happen again, right? In a normal world, this is not a normal world. Like any other discussion is like, I'm confused. They're talking about the dog. Oh, the dog. If they want to end its life, they can do that. And he was trying to be provocative, saying it like that. Do you notice that? He was trying to say it as if to make them feel guilty if they decided to euthanize.
I was talking to the family. They mentioned that about a year ago. The same thing happened.
And now this family wants the dog to stay alive. So they're still pro-dog. That's an important point, right? The family does not want the dog euthanized, even after this attack and after they surrendered it. So if the family says, hey, this has happened before, this is not the first time this dog has attacked the toddler, That has to be true. If these people are saying it, they're still crazy about this particular dog and does not want it to be euthanized. So if they say, hey, this has happened before, take their word on it. No, this man tries to be a dog lawyer, flips it and says, oh, that's not an attack at all. And he did that so that he could say that this is the very first time that this dog has ever shown aggression. And keep in mind, in the laws, that's the best way you can guarantee that a dog won't be put down, is if it is the very first time it has launched an attack. I just want to make sure everybody understand the deception and the little tricks that they're trying to pull with the way they word things. Is very sadistic, man. I've never seen nothing like this, man. I've never seen anything else in society this malicious. Like, what in the world? Reactive child successfully hurt. Whoa. Oh, man. BK Bourne said, I wonder how nutters would react if a child successfully hurt an attacking dog. You kidding? Man, that child. Could you imagine if it was caught on video and posted on Instagram or Facebook, the comment sections, what it would look like? Yeah, that would be revealing. Just like this video, right? This is very revealing, very incriminating. Like, dude, he made it so obvious what his intentions were to flip it. Bend over backwards, dismiss the first attack. No, this is the first time it's ever shown aggression. Doing his best to make sure this same dog is put into another home. Wow. So yeah, this video has been brought to you by IHD and the Crusader members of the channel. Big shout out to everybody who joined, and I hope to see you on the next.